honor to take Xbox Series X and S. So, Series X, same thing. $500 hairs, November. Now, the Series X didn't have as much of a shortage problem as the PS5, and I
Yeah,
know
yes it
someone.
did. Yes
No,
it
hold on.
did.
Hold on. Just hold on. You can go back and check. It was being scalped, but it was not as huge of a problem as the PS5. And you could go back in real time and check this out while I give my little spiel. Because I remember someone was saying like, "Yo, you could walk into a Best Buy and they would have some of them." The
No,
PS5s
no,
were
no. I
selling
don't
off
know
the
where the
shelves
fuck they
fast.
were. I'm not about to let you get that off. Fuck that. No, it
Anywho,
was not. I could not go in the store and buy an Xbox. Nah, nah. That wasn't a thing. At least where I was. Fuck no.
at least where
You
you
could
were. At
not
least where you were.
you couldn't get neither one of these systems. So that's cap. I'm calling
Okay.
cap.
Anywho, it's launch titles. Like I said, but I tried to stick to the first party exclusive lineups. Was a timed exclusive special edition, an enhanced version of Gears 5, and I don't know what the fuck this game is. The Falconer. I have never heard of this. I have never saw it until coming to do this project. So forgive me. But of course, Gears 5, the last Gears of War before this long hiatus. Devil May Cry 5, it was a special edition. I ain't gonna lie, I love Devil May Cry games. By the time the fifth one came out, I was just done with the series. And then, like I said, this Falconer, I don't fucking know you, not at all. It launched in November 10th, 2020, and it was a very powerhouse packed console. I was about to say PC. It had 12 teraflops. I want you to hear this, Sony.
Terabyte.
1 terabyte of SSD, 4K powerhouse. I'm gonna say this.
They always say true 4K to shit on
Yeah,
PlayStation.
yeah, I'm going with the brochure says, baby. Full 4K powerhouse. But I'm gonna say this: if Sony's main, I won't say gimmick because that kind of undermines it. If Sony's main feature for PS5 was that SSD that they made, that proprietary SSD and the fast loading, Xbox's gold Sony feature for the Series X is that fucking quick
Resume.
resume. I don't know who
Chef's kiss.
thought of that and made that work. That motherfucker should be
God bless you.
promoted. That dude should be
Yeah.
running Xbox like, hey, no one has ever done it. You ain't even got that on PCs, quote unquote master race. No one has done that. But that right there, it was doing it, baby. But anywho, other notable launch titles were Gears Tactics, Tetris Effect, and Forza Horizon 4, upgraded versions. But like I said, tried to stick to particularly the launches. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a little fuzzy. I really don't remember when the hell I got my Series X, because once again, was not supposed to get it at launch, and I don't believe I did get mine at launch.
No,
I
you
believe
didn't.
mine was in 22, possibly, because I had a 1X that I had just bought not too long ago, the Cyberpunk edition, so I really didn't see why I would just forego that to get a whole nother beefier Xbox. Microsoft did improve their controllers with more stable Bluetooth connectivity, but it was kind of just more of the same. They went with a simplistic design over the pizzazz flair of the 360 and of course the VCR model of the Xbox One. This one they said, hey, it's called Xbox. We're gonna make it a box. That's what the fuck it looks like. It looks like a straight ass box. A very simplistic design, and they kept it, minimal. Notable features for the Series X was its velocity architecture, also a super fast SSD. At quick resume, you still doing it, baby. Hardware accelerated ray tracing. The Series X continued with full compatibility of Xbox One titles, a catalog of 360 titles, and OG Xbox titles. But Microsoft took it a step further and they also upgraded their smart delivery and they added more auto HDR enhancements, FPS boosts, and they just made it a little bit more sexier, cleaner to play into their ecosystem. Halo Infinite was supposed to come out on launch, but it was delayed. But Xbox, it was kind of just more of the same. Not even I won't even say steroids. They just went to the gym and just kept pumping. Treese, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so let me re-jog your memory on how you got your Xbox. My cousin found somebody who didn't want their Xbox any longer, and he was supposed to have two of them. Not sure how he acquired them. My cousin went to go buy each of us one, and he only had one. And a bit at first, I was like, "All right." I sent my cousin the money, and he was supposed to mail it whenever I told him to mail it. So many months went past. I was like, "Hey, you can have it." And then that's how he got his Xbox. I don't know how he forgot that story. So he did get it in 2021. I mean, it was
Hey,
always
that's
with
crazy
him
you remember that because I
because
until
it's
you
not.
said that, I'm like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that did
Listen,
happen."
I gave him my Xbox. Like, what the fuck you mean you don't know? And I didn't get my what I have now in my house until I think 3 years later. So well after all the issues and all that. But when we was doing the pre-show and talking about the topic and all this, I told my cousin I did not buy not one game
Nope.
for this generation. And that's mainly because of Game Pass. My cousin had Game Pass and we, finagle it to share the Game Pass. Now I'm not gonna go in detail on how you do that. You figure that out. But so I didn't buy not one game, and whether that's looked at as good or bad, that's up for debate for Xbox. But yeah, some third party games were of course Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Yukaza, Like a Dragon, Dirt 5, Watch Dogs, disgusting, Fortnite again, NBA 2K again, Destiny 2 Beyond Light. And I want to point out that this system has 16 RAMs. I wonder will we see that again? And like my cousin said, true 4K 60 to 120 frames per second. The expansion option was the Seagate 1 terabyte expansion, so you can push it up to 2 terabytes, which was a very expensive expansion card. I never bought it because, like I said, I don't even play games on my shit. So, but some launch issues. Some users had no signal issues with the HDMI 2.1 TV port. A few Series X units had coil whine noise. Series game upgrades confusing at launch. Optimized for Series X and S labels was later added. Scalpers wiped out early stock. It was Xbox X, which I don't know why my cousin acting like you could go buy them in the store. You could not. Scalpers had Xbox Series X value between $700 to $1,500. So I think that's a little bit more than the average of the PlayStation. And I think the main reason why it was priced as that, because this product of Xbox Series X, when you do it per cost, is all its capability is true 4K resolution. It really was a great deal. So it was praised for that, and so therefore it was priced very heavily for scalpers. I mean, yeah, whatever. But quick resume, there was a few bugs, but ultimately it was praised as one of the best features ever brought to gaming home consoles. Controller disconnecting, that happens all the time. This dashboard and system software crashes. Now that is
I'm gonna let you all know right the fuck now. Hey, that controller disconnect shit, yo, that still happened. That still
yeah,
happened.
I don't
And
experience that because I don't play my
and
Xbox.
And I'm gonna say something right now because I'm pretty sure people in the comments like, yo, this guy's always chiming in. And I'm always like, hey, when something jogs my memory, it's like the moment it clicks.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Series X came out, one of the selling points was, hey, you ain't have to buy the Series X controllers because the Xbox
Yes.
One controllers can work
Yes.
on it. Well, that disconnection was bad.
Fuck around and
My
find
Xbox
out.
One controllers were disconnecting from the Series X. Series X controllers disconnect from the Series X. I think at one point I just kept the wire just like y'all. We're not gonna keep doing this because it'll disconnect in the middle of me doing something. But
Moving on, like I said, this dashboard and system software crashes, random crashes happening, games force closing, system freezing during UI, installation errors, and newly downloaded games had problems. But I feel like this was just natural hiccups. New system, blah 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 blah. It's gonna have its downfalls, but that was one of them. Disk drive clicking and loud noises, storage problems. I mean, that's kind of the S's issue, not really the X's issue. So I'm not even overheating. Apparently, somebody's smoke alarm went off because it was their Xbox was so overheated, it started to smoke. I don't know if that was ever verified, but that was just in a rumor mill at the time. I remember seeing memes about that. And little install download issues, smart delivery confusion. Some people accidentally downloaded the Xbox One version of game. Once again, I think reading is very crucial to life, but I think they hatched and made it very deliberate on what version of the game you was buying. It is reported that they sold around 10 million ish units in its first 12 months, so a little 5 million behind the PlayStation. But they said Xbox were they didn't really anticipate, of course nobody anticipates COVID, but they just didn't think they needed to have so many systems up front. So they were deliberately they kind of cost them probably early sales because they just didn't make enough initially. So that's probably something that they if they could go back and redo, they would, and they probably maybe be closer to the 15 million that the Sony PS5 sold, or maybe not. I don't know. But scalping was very bad still with the Xbox, just like with the PlayStation. But yeah, I guess it was decent. I mean, I don't have any personal experience of other than not having no games to play on it outside of the Game Pass games that my cousin made us play together. I mean, decent.
But I did play a lot on my Xbox, certain older, going back to classical games, backlogs. It is a great system. It is a good system.
Yeah,
No matter what
yeah.
anyone tells you, like, oh, it has no games and whatever little console war s shit people go through, we're not here for all. The problem is just that a lot of the stuff. Well, one, we had the PlayStations first, and then all the stuff we did play, we just play on PlayStation. I did play
Yeah.
Game Pass stuff. I still do play Game Pass stuff, and then there are a lot of games that I do buy or get on Xbox because that whole smart delivery thing they did rave. They did. It's funny how PlayStation and Xbox, they seem to have the same similar problems, but they get the light gets shed on them differently
Oh yeah.
because that smart delivery thing and PlayStation's PS4, PS5 thing, that's the same issue, but it was covered completely fucking different. The desyncing of the controllers, and both systems had shoddy controllers at launch. The
Mhm.
the that stick drift, that shit's real. That's on both systems, and still to this day, I know Sony has revamped their controllers. Xbox has revamped theirs. They said, I want to say numerous, but I'll try to reel it in. They said a few times that they were going to look into making a updated version of the Series S controller more in line with the DualSense and the haptics thing. It never happened.
Mm-mm.
I'm pretty sure.
Word
I'm
salad.
pretty sure by the time they were thinking about that, they was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I mean, it's a good system. I still play and get on to this day. I own a lot of 360 slash Xbox One S stuff games, but they were pretty much almost the same. They were designed based off of x86, I believe, as they were last time. They're essentially becoming just small, condensed, simplified PCs. Yes,
Yeah.
Infamous said that
I mean,
because from the
that's the whole
debacle.
point of consoles is
Yes,
simpler,
yeah,
simplistic.
because from the debacle of the PS3 to the PS4, Sony was like, "Hey, hey, hey, no more specialty. Make it simplistic." And that's what they went. Same thing with Xbox, but Xbox is the king
Well,
of smart.
no, I won't agree with that point because what's the thing that it was something that I think you talked about. It was something just before when these Series X and S released. Xbox had this whole little promotion of, oh, we're gonna make the most powerful console that's on the market. And they did, and
I was about
had
to say
no
they
games
did
on it. Yeah, they did. Like, and this technically is a better hardware all in its
on paper.
totality
Yep.
than the PS5. If you really look at and like I said, true 4K, 60 to 120 frames per second, it is better than the PS5. So making a good hardware is not its problem for Xbox, but the problem is they don't make money from the hardware. Like, I guess, and this is where I'm just going to end my point about the launch of this Xbox. It gave me no reason to turn it on, and it still doesn't give me a reason to turn it on to this day, because if there's anything on the market, I can play it on the PlayStation, or you can get it on Steam and all that other stuff. You don't have to turn on an Xbox in 2025, and really back then, because like I said, I didn't buy not one game during this Series X came out. And when I came to a realization, I was like, "Well, damn, fuck, Microsoft didn't get no money out of me really outside of buying the." I mean, I think that's his major downfall. That hardware is not an issue when it comes to Microsoft. It is all about giving somebody a reason to cut on their system. But like we reported in other videos, I don't think Microsoft cares, because at the end of the day, as long as you in some type of Game Pass or some type of, if you're in their ecosystem somehow, some way, somehow, they don't care about you, quote unquote, buying their system or quote unquote unquote buying some of their games. Because why? Some of these people are on Game Pass. That's
Okay.
his downfall in my personal experience with the launch of this whole system. It's just I ain't had no
Well,
reason to play it.
I'll say this to wrap up my thoughts on the Series X launch. This was the beginning of Microsoft just caring less and less of the brand of Xbox. And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, are you not entertained?